Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Toyeen Talks. To all our beautiful subscribers, we say thank you so much for staying with us. And if you're new here, we are so happy you find us. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit on that notification button so you will be notified for more upcoming video. And in the comment sections, please note the regretful comments, please. No derogative comment. Thanks you all for watching. Till I'll see you in my next video. Stay safe, stay blessed. I love you all. Bye.
Applying as Victoria Chibugo. I am finally here to share the story of how my husband passed. My late husband's name is Ikechukwu Martins Okechukwu. He's the one on my shirt. Ikechukwu Martins Okechukwu was born in the year 1982, 24th of June. He was my husband and the father of my 3 children. I'm not sharing the story of how he passed because I owe anyone any explanation. I'm only sharing this because I want people to know about Ikechukwu. We were both content creators before he passed. Yes, literally, he brought me into social media to become a content creator. Just because in the year 2020, I lost my business, I lost my money in China. In fact, I was swindled of over 16 million naira in China. Ikechukwu brought me into social media 3 months before his demise. I didn't know why. Most times I used to feel probably because he knows he was going to go. I don't know, to be honest. Ikechukwu was such a great man. He was such an amazing husband. Not like we didn't have our flaws, not like we didn't have our couple quarrels. Obviously, every couple have their own quarrel fights, and how you make up your quarrel is what actually matters a lot. And your good times should actually supersede your bad times as couples. He was an amazing dad, an ever-present dad. Like you all know, we have a special needs son. He was there for our special needs son at all times. Always ready to go to the hospital with him, always ready to, find a solution as to, how to help him medically. How to help him medically. Ikechukwu was a random young man who was okay, right? When I met my husband, he told me he had allergy, right? And it was a severe allergy. The type of allergy my husband had is the type that warrants him to use a Ventolin inhaler. He never mentioned to me that he was asthmatic. The only thing he told me was that he had allergy. One thing about me is that I do not joke with the health of my man. He was never hypertensive, neither did he have sugar, because I was checking all those things at all times. Because obviously I needed him to live long. Neither did I know death was going to take him away from me within this short period of time. We were only married for barely 6 years before he left. And he passed a day after my daughter's birthday. Now, what happened? On the 14th of October, the both of us went to book a cake for our daughter's 3rd birthday, which was supposed to be on the 15th. We went out on that day. He was okay. We did the whole booking. Everything was perfectly okay. Then the next day being 15th, in fact, I'm making this video on the 15th today. By this time, he left the house to go pick up the cake. I'll try as much as I can not to be emotional. I always tell myself that the day I talk about my husband and not cry, then that means I am healing well. Now he left just exactly by this time. It was on a Sunday to go pick up cake for our daughter's birthday. He came home. We celebrated our daughter. We sang for her. Normal thing you do with your children. We wished her a happy birthday and all that stuff. Maybe I'll try and attach the clip here. I don't know. Then he left that same Sunday to go and chill with his guys. Later that Sunday, I called him. When he came back, I was like, let's go out to celebrate the children, our daughter. Let's just have our hangout and all that. Like as if I knew that would be his last time celebrating our daughter's birthday. but he didn't oblige. He said he was tired and he wanted to rest. I left with the children and I came back. Fast forward on the 16th of October, the next day.
Hold on, it says part 2. Hold on, I'm looking for the part 2.
Oh, this was up. Fast forward on the 16th of October, the next day. On that very morning, we went to drop the kids off at school. Yes. And then he took me to go do way bill for some of my customers. Then there was this friend of mine that sent something from Australia that wanted me to go pick it up. So they wanted me to go and pick it up from her friend that came into Nigeria. So we were supposed to go that morning, but the person said we should come in the evening of that same 16th. So we went to the bank on that day because we needed to open a joint account. Because when my husband was alive, we were trying to relocate to Canada because of my son, Enzo. So the bank on that Monday was for us to go and do our proof of funds, open a joint account and all those things. We were in the bank for hours on that day, and while I was, running around in the bank, I realized that he was sleeping. I felt like, he was tired, and all that stuff. Then we couldn't finish up what we went to the bank to do. Then we left. He said he was hungry, that we should go to the market and go and buy things. They wanted to make local rice, local jollof rice. I said, okay. He drove to the market. I was inside the car. He went into the car. Then he went into the market, then bought the things he needed. Then he drove back home. On that same 16th, he cooked. Yes, he did. He cooked the rice. In fact, served me too on that day, And my husband is one who doesn't like to cook. But anytime he cooks, he likes to praise himself, He was calling himself the best chef and, all that stuff. And I was teasing him. I ate. Then he slept for some time. When it was time to pick up the kids, we went back together to pick up the children. We dropped them off at home, then went back to the bank again to finish up the joint account we went to open. Now, when we got back again, he went back to sleep again. He continued sleeping. Remember, the lady that came back from Australia that was supposed to pick up something from said we should come in the evening around 5. When it was, 4:50, I woke him up. I said, please, can we go? Note, when my husband was alive, he was literally my driver. He knew I hated driving, so he was always ready to drive me anywhere I want. Not like I can't drive. I'm a very good driver. Then we woke up at that 4:50. I don't know, for some reason, on that very day, I kept the time. I don't bother about time, but I was really, really putting times together in my head. Now we stood up, we got dressed, we drove to Ajao. We are all know Lagos traffic and all that stuff, And then we got to Ajao around, after 7 to 8. Now we picked up what we went to pick up from this same person and we headed home. We entered into my compound at exactly 8:45. But before then, one of his friends, my husband is in a club where they play football every Mondays and Saturdays. So one of his friends usually picked on his way to play, called him. He said, I'm on my way I'm going to Ajao with my wife. When I come back, I will come. Now, when we got back, I was already tired. I was the one that was driving. That is the honest truth. But guess what? The kind of tiredness I felt, I've never felt it before. I was tired in my spirit. I was tired physically. I was tired. In fact, generally, I was literally tired. Now, when we entered the compound, I heard him making a call. I am coming. He mentioned his as well. He wants to collect some supplements he bought for me, himself and the kids, this, that. I said, okay, no problem. Watch out for part 3.
Hold on, let me get to part 3.
Part 3 of how my husband died. So when he said he was going out for the meeting and to pick up the supplement he bought for myself, the kids, and for him as well, I was like, I wasn't okay with him going. That I wasn't feeling okay in my spirit for him to leave. That he shouldn't go. I and my husband, we play a lot. In fact, on that Monday, after he gave me the food to eat, I started playing with him. Like the way I played with him, I've never played with him like that before. In fact, he picked up again that day to flog me, saying that I am disturbing him on that Monday. That was before we went to pick the children from school, right? That was the day he called me an alaye. He called me an agbero. He even asked me if he met me under Maltu Bridge. I'm going to attach a voice note of when he passed when I was talking to him. Kike Bobodim, my husband. We're just playing today. We're just playing today. Your agbero is touching you. Wake up, Your agbero is touching you. Who will I play with now? Wake up now. Wake up, This is what God accept us. All of them is speaking. I'm going to attach a clip where I was talking to him when he fasts, reminding him of the things he told me on that particular Monday, right? So now, on that very day, he came upstairs after we got home at that 8:45 p.m. As I was playing with him, we were doing our normal alaye stuff. My husband was 10 years older than me, but he acts like he's my age mate. We had that very good relationship as couples, right? So so after doing all the alaye with him, just to see if I could just take his mind off, him going out, he came upstairs that same minute. I forgot. To be honest, I can't place my mind on, my eyes on what he came up to pick up. At that time, our second son was the only person awake at that time. He came up, picked what he wanted to pick, hugged him, pet him, and then he left. From the window here, told him from the window, I said, Ikechukwu, do you really have to go? Normally, I used to call my husband Jegede Shokoyo because I'm an insider, and while he himself is an outsider. I called him from the window, I said, Jegede Shokoyo, Ikechukwu Jegede Shokoyo. And then he drove off. Now, within 2 hours that he passed, I don't know, for some reason I was weak in my spirit. I called my elder sister. I was like, Sister C, I don't know why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling, but Ike just left. I'm not comfortable. My sister was like, is it today that Ike started going out? Why am I even bothering myself and all that stuff? I said, okay. So they brought food for me. At the spot where I ate, that was the same place I slept off. Something that has never happened. As I was sleeping, it felt like as if one spirit woke me up. The spirit woke me up. And then I was feeling these chills. I started feeling these chills. Like I knew something wasn't okay. I was feeling cold in a hot weather. Everything was not just okay. I stood up. I went into the shower, had my bath, and then I started to say prayer. As at that time, it was already 12 o'clock sharp. I was worshiping already. I was already praising God, And next thing, I saw his friend's call. I'm like, why is Ike's friend calling me? Did anything happen? Does it mean that Ike does not have credit because all of them, they play football, right? I was down surprised. I started to answer the call. I answered the call. Now he said, Ugo, they said something has happened to Ike. Please start going to Golden Cross Hospital. I said something. I said, Ike that left me. So it happened to be that the guy wasn't even there. That Ike's friend wasn't there at that time. I had already moved to the island on that same day. I didn't even know. So he was the only one who had my number. None of his club members had my number. So they had to call him to call me. I said, I called my mom, called my sisters. I was like, look at what I'm hearing. They were on the phone. This was happening at 12 midnight sharp. This was happening at 12 midnight sharp. I was like, this was what I'm hearing. Ike want to put me in trouble. I managed to find my way to the hospital. Upon getting to the hospital, I saw his club members, all of them. I said, Ike said he wasn't going to play. Does it mean he broke a leg or something happened? Like, I don't understand what happened. So I approached his close friend that they go to their training together. I was like, please, where is my husband? The guy said, go inside. As I was approaching the hospital gate and entering the hospital premises, all of them followed me. When I looked back, they were over 15 of them. I was like, what? Does it mean these people love Ike so much? Anyway, my husband is a very lovable person because he's very quiet, right? So when I got into the hospital, they were all giving me that pity look. I was looking around, trying to see maybe they placed him somewhere, a person will break leg or something. I said, please, where is the doctor? Where is my husband? Where is the doctor? Where is my husband? Finally, the doctor came. I said, doctor, please, what happened? My mom was on the phone with me at that time with my sisters. I was like, what happened? But before then, my other sisters here in Lagos, they came around. Okay, yes, they came around. Yeah. Because my mom already called them that they should start coming to the hospital to meet me at that time, including my aunties. So I was like, where's my husband now? The doctor couldn't speak to me. The man was just giving me that pity look because when he saw me, he was like, oh my God, in his mind, this lady is such a young lady. Now, one of my husband's friend now told him, now said, doc, please tell him what happened. I said, what happened? The doctor said, unfortunately, he was brought in dead. I said, sorry, what did you say? I did not even scream. I did not cry. I smiled. I said, okay. I said, please, where is he? They said, he's in the car. I said, please, can you people lead me to the car? They took me to my car where my husband was lying on his friend's body, lifeless. I went there. I tapped on his body. I called him. I said, babe, I don't know what these people are saying. These people are saying that you are dead. Which one is you are dead again? You dropped me at home just 2 hours ago. Which one is you are dead? I'm not understanding. Wake up, please, let's go home. Because I'm not understanding all this. You are dead. How can you be dead now? You just dropped me 2 hours ago. Ikichukwu did not wake up. I saw my husband. Chibuko, please, you don't have to cry. You have fought this for over a year. I said, okay, let's go. You dropped me at home 2 hours ago now. How? Next thing I did was I went to Facebook. I typed streams of joy. Luckily for me, Papa Jerry was on live that very day. I now placed the phone on his chest. Then I went to ask his friends, his team members, what really happened. The Ikechukwu just dropped me off and went to meet you people. What happened? I'm not understanding that the husband who left me, the older who left me about 2 hours ago, is dead. They said he came and all of them, they were seated, chilling. In fact, I think it was 2 days after somebody shared a video where he was even cracking them up. My husband was a very quiet man, but he was a silent comedian. When he talks, you must laugh, no matter who you are. I saw a video where he was even yabbing one of his club members. I'll try to attach the video if I can. And they said after some time, he stood up and went to his car. He didn't come back. After like 30-40 minutes, because he blocked somebody with his car, the person wanted to drive out. So the person went there and saw him like this in the car. And that the person now went to call his very close friend. Guy, he mentioned the guy's name. Guy, your guy there inside car. I'm not sure say if they're okay. He now rushed. All of them now rushed to the car. Upon opening the car, but first of all, the car was on, and I think the reverse light or something. I don't know. I've forgotten how they said it. They were lucky to open the door, and he fell off. In their words, if I ever have.
Hold on. Okay.
Now they said they tried to perform a CPR on him, and they rushed him to the first hospital. The first hospital rejected him, and they now took him to the second hospital, where he was confirmed BID, brought in dead. I said, okay. The NSPPD was still playing. I left it on his chest. I told him, I said, please, can we drive to another hospital? I am so convinced that my husband is alive, that nothing will happen. I was pacing around the whole hospital environment, praying. I knelt down. I cried to God. I said, God, please do something so that your name will be glorified. God, please. So at that time, I didn't even know about mercy. We drove to the Navy Hospital in Satellite Town. When we got to Navy Hospital, the doctors came out, checked him, and still confirmed him BID, brought him dead. At that time, I still couldn't find tears, I still couldn't cry. I was inside the car with my husband for over 3 hours because the kind of faith I exercised on that day. Life is just so cruel. The kind of faith I exercised on that day, I have never exercised that kind of faith. I refused to deposit my husband in the morgue. I sat inside the car. I kept on praying. Mind you, on NSPPD, I've heard a lot of people say, I placed NSPPD on the dead loved ones and they came back to life. I was a believer of that testimony. In fact, Pastor Jerry mentioned my husband's case. He said, your husband will not die. No, I don't have to do this. Kai. He said, your husband will not die. I ran out of the car. I knelt down. I was screaming, amen. His club members were there, just staring at me. I kept on waiting. Ikechuku became cold. He turned cold on me. His legs became stiff. Because Ikechuku was such a tall guy. He was a 6'3" guy. So we couldn't stretch his leg. We folded his leg in the car. And I was told that they had to break his legs. Oh, God. I was told that they had to break his legs so it can stretch. So, for 3 hours, I was there with his cousins, his older cousins that were around us, that stays around us. And at that time, my kids were very sick. And I left my kids with just my small girls. I couldn't even reach them to know if the 3 kids were okay. It was then it dawned on me that they were all sick because they had this feeling. I couldn't read. I was like, I want to go and check on my children that are alive. I don't even know what to do at that time. Please, Chibugo, you can do this. So, what gave me the conviction that Ikechukwu was gone was after 3 hours. I was still pacing around the hospital premises, believing God. I was touching him on internet, talking to him, speaking to him. The last time I went to touch him, that was when I saw blood. It was green. He's feeling
There's no part 6. There's no part.
She uploads it in interval, so maybe tomorrow or next she will upload it.
Yeah, okay.
As in,
Wow.
so heartbreaking.
This is heartbreaking. I couldn't hold my tears.
I've even I've done all my crying yesterday when I saw it. Like it's so
And
heartbreaking.
I was on a live before I came in here. I was just like,
Yeah, I was there
do
too.
those stuff. I even wanted to send money, but when someone was like, I will send 300, 200, I was like, Kilon she.
Yeah,
I just,
she's doing like an initiative for what's it called, for women. I say now let's even compare it to Wumi's case. In all this, our own kids were at home. But Wumi was everywhere that night with Liam, a 5 month old, and this evil soul.
I
So
hope these people will hear this lady's story. I hope they will hear it. I hope they will hear it. I hope Josie himself will hear it. She said, the lady said she exercised faith, and that you know, I've said this before. That is the first instinct of every child of God, every Christian. Let me use the word every Christian. That as a religious Christian, even even if as the doctor has declared him, that you will still have that faith that no, he will rise up. That was what Josie. That's why I keep saying that Josie, he knew about the death of that son. He did something about the death of that son, of that his son. He calls himself a pastor. Even if he's not a pastor, he calls himself a Christian. A child, your own child, they call you that your own child died, and the next thing is that you are going to bury him. You know something about it. You are so sure, settled in your spirit that work has done, that Aisha